Well, hello, folks. It's from a rainy, cold day in Brisbane, would you believe? And needless to say, our show tonight has a guest from Australia. In the meantime, it's a welcome to a co-host, none other than Andrina Forrest. It's a good morning to you, Andrina.
Hi, Jeffrey. Hello, Dennis. Welcome to Denis Cooney, who's made a last-minute guest appearance here. Welcome, everybody. It's the 16th of May, 2024, and it's a great pleasure that we have Denis Cooney on the show today. And I met Denis, I can't remember how many, but just under 10 years ago now. We did a whale trip together. And I can remember you doing your it was a full moon, and you were doing your Ormus potions on the dark night of the moon, if I remember right. So anyway, it's lovely to see you again. It's been a long time. So would you like to share your story, how it all began?
Exactly, and I particularly remember.
Go on.
I particularly remember that time. It was in October. And the variety that I was doing at that time is easily the best-selling variety we have, made on the Aries full moon, because the full moon is always opposed to the sun, whatever zodiac the sun is in. And that particular variety is called self-regeneration. It's the one that completely reinvigorates and reinstalls people's, the vehicle that they've come to in to fulfill this mission, this lifetime. And so if they're having health problems, it sort of cleans them up. If they have it's who you come here to be. And I remember that particular whale trip, Andrina, just was right in the middle of the full moon cycle. So literally I bought all of my equipment, and when all of you guys went to bed, and that was full peak, I was there collecting ocean water and then doing alchemical treatment with it all through the night. And I basically I'll never forget that. And which is it was just, obviously you haven't forgotten it either.
No.
It was just the most phenomenal trip ever. So so to go back to your question, how did I get into this? I suppose that goes back multiple lifetimes of working as in the field of metaphysics and alchemy. But this lifetime, it started about 35 years ago when I was studying with a metaphysician, alchemist in Sydney. His name was Glenn Brown, and most never heard of him. And he inducted to
We're losing his audio, Andrina.
Mm.
Dennis, you must have just dropped out there, mate.
Right.
You're frozen. Anyway, so
I can remember him in, like, we all went to bed. God knows what time it was anyway, but I can always remember him. He was out there in the moonlight doing his potions and all sorts of things.
Yeah, so his reception where he is. Are you back now, Dennis? Hello, Dennis. No, he's lost his audio. No audio. Can't hear you, Dennis. Okay, so
do you want to play his little video then?
Yeah. Okay. Let's go and have a look. Right, so where are we with that? Yeah, so obviously he's on a telephone provider that doesn't give full coverage. Where are we? I've got that set up somewhere. Where did I get him? Almost.
Well, I can remember Denis used to be on Facebook a lot, and he's quite a social activist. I can remember he was on Facebook, he was off Facebook, he was on, he was off. He was always banned for putting something up. So, and I know he's not up anymore. So, I'm not quite sure what he's up to now. And hopefully, we'll find out if he can get his signal sorted out.
Okay, so he needs to get on the Telstra network, obviously Optus and Vodafone, not TPG, and not the providers for him. All right, so while he resets his phone, if he wants to log off and then come back on, that might be the way to do it. Okay, so this looks like a younger Denis. Let's see what he's got to say.
Just a little.
Happiness of all kinds with once. Well, you can.
It's pretty.
Is famous for being a carrier of information. Some call it a matrix of consciousness. In a nutshell, what that means is what you program it with, you can bring into creation. You can bring into manifestation. And this particular badge, maybe a Taurus full moon, which is the full moon most associated with having, with abundance. This particular badge for Mother of Abundance. And the amount of my customers that have rang me or contacted me or texted me or emailed me to say that this has more than covered the cost of not just the Mother of Abundance badge, but the Soul Family Pack or the bonus pack that we have, because they've had winnings, lotto winnings, all manner of wins in business that have more than covered the cost of the illness that they had in their lives. Just so attractive for results. Again, tell you almost what to do. Tell it what you want and tell it regularly. Don't be afraid. Just you and the almost in the mirror in your bathroom, right? No one's hearing you. So tell it what you want and notice it arrive. That's the Mother of Abundance. I hope you advise something.
Needs a microphone, really, for that one.
Yeah, definitely a younger.
But you can't really hear what he's saying, and I listened to it, but I had it on full volume, and I still could just barely make out what he's saying. Have you ever?
Yeah, that's on full volume. This end as well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Have you ever tried Ormus yourself?
We're going back years. A guy called Ken Syme.
Ken, yeah.
With, he was into.
Gosh, that's going back, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, so there he is. He's back. Hello. Can we hear you now? Speak. Hello, Denis.
Says, can you?
Yeah. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Slowly.
Your signal's not good, Denis.
I'm not seeing you guys.
Well, we can see you.
I'm not seeing you. Can you see? I'm not seeing you.
Yeah, we can see you and we can hear you.
Can you
so
see me?
Yeah.
Can you see? I'm not.
Now we should have had this at 6:30, but obviously.
Now I can see Jeff.
Happening.
But can you hear? I'm speaking.
We can hear you, mate. Okay, so
I cannot hear you.
Right, so this is not going to work, is it?
No. His reception is pretty weak. All right, we'll just have to.
I cannot hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Speaking, but I cannot hear you. Cannot hear you.
We'll put the headphones in.
Yeah, where's your earphones?
I could hear you before, but I hear nothing now.
I hear nothing.
Yeah. Put your headphones in, mate.
Speaking, I hear nothing.
Right,
One can
what are we
see
going to
and
do,
hear, but
Andrina?
I cannot see
Well, I
you.
can't go on like this, can we?
Not if
Really?
you
No,
can hear
So
me.
No.
either we log off and come back on again, and he tries it
So
when you
is there
ring him,
anything that I change?
because it doesn't look like he's got the microphone or the
I'm not
earpiece in.
seeing anything that I can correct, but I'm not seeing. I can see you, Jeff, but I cannot hear you. Not if you can hear me. Not if you can hear me.
Yeah.
No, you're not. So you can't.
Oh my God.
All right.
Well, I suppose
Listen,
we've had a good run.
pardon me.
We've had a real good run over the different programs, haven't we, where we've never had any hiccups. I suppose you've
Yeah,
got
but
one
he's-
now and again.
Yeah, it just
I'm putting
it doesn't say much for Australia's
Yeah.
telecommunication industry, is it? So it doesn't say much for Apple. Apple products.
No, you
it doesn't
can't.
say much. Here he's back.
Something's wrong.
We can hear him. He's talking.
Something's very wrong.
Listen, we should have had this at 6:30. That just goes to show you that
That's why it's
frustrating
important,
when
isn't it?
people come in.
To do this
Andrina,
thing.
can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I see you too, but you
It's
can't
the name
hear
of a
me.
song. No, it's the name of a band. We can hear you.
I see you too,
Yeah. So,
but you can't.
hey, listen, we can't put this up. I mean, this is just not going to happen.
No.
Okay.
No. So I think we just have to cancel today's.
Yeah, so we give so we flick them off and then we'll carry on about his product and the share of power. Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, so this particular, based on what I came across him about 6 weeks ago, should we boot him off?
Yeah, 'cause it's no good looking at a light bulb, is it?
No.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you might have come across this, and I came across this about 6 weeks ago when I happened to be at a venue not all that far from me, and he mentioned about the shower of power as affirmations. But more importantly, what he's referring to is when you have a shower, that's why he's got the word shower in it, is if you get this and you sellotape this on the outside of your shower screen facing in, as you step into the shower, and one of the aspects of going into the shower is the negative ions that come from the water. So people obviously feel really good when they go for a surf into the ocean, and they come out of it and they get the sun and vitamin D. So apart from not getting vitamin D in the shower, you're getting the negative ions, which brings in that balance within your whole physical body, your emotional body, and your mental body. Every subtle aspect of yourself, and you get really quite inspired. And there's many times people start singing in the shower, or they get great forms of inspiration. And so once that shower takes place, then you can then see his words of affirmation there that you can pluck out. You can either go through the whole what have we got there, 4 6 is 24,
5 verses.
36. Yeah. So you can obviously go through and repeat them in some sort of mantra, or you can just pick out one at a time. So, but the bottom line is, at the end of the day, is I am that I am. So,
yeah. And that is a good thing to do. Hello, Dennis. Can you hear us? Can you speak?
Well, I can. I rang on a second phone, because obviously we got interfered with on my main phone. As it happens, I have a backup phone which I'm now using.
Well, thank goodness for that.
It's lovely to see you, Andrina.
It's lovely to see you, Dennis. It's been a long time, eh?
What a real treat.
Have you done any whale trips lately?
I haven't done one for about 4 years, I suppose. I did about 6 or 7 in a row.
Well, yeah, why not?
I've literally had whales that far away from me, and there's just, I'm just so off whale watching now, because why would I want to see a whale from 100 yards or 200 meters? When I've had personal experience of being only feet away from whales where they came to me. You don't need to chase whales. They chase us.
That's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah, they go people watching. I was
and they don't have to pay.
Well, yeah. And I remember I was lying out the back of the boat, and I remember we were told, just don't go very far from the boat. And so I was laying out sort of to the side of the boat, in fact, and this whale came and stopped straight underneath me, like literally about a half a meter underneath me, and just looked at me with this one big eye. And I was looking at it, and it was looking at me, and then I just heard this internal dialogue go, wow, I'm here with a whale. And as soon as my internal dialogue cut in, the whale just drifted off to people watch someone else. While I was in a state of complete timeless awe, it was just there too. And as soon as I went back into sort of a mental frequency, it just wandered off to look at someone else, probably you.
And I know, like on the boats, they say, you're not to get within, I can't remember, 50 meters or 100 meters, whatever, of the whale. But there's nothing to stop the whale coming up to say hello to you, eh?
Exactly. And what are they going to do? Find the whale?
Yeah, quite. Oh dear. Yeah. So yes, so I can remember you making your potions. I didn't know anything about you or what you did. Like that trip was new for everybody, wasn't it? But yeah, so I remember, and I came away with a bottle of your Ormus all them years ago. So yeah.
How much of the story did I tell you about that variety that I made on that boat, that trip, did you actually hear? Because I told a story about that. Did you catch any of it?
We only got a little bit where you were talking about the Aries moon, and you were out there all night. That's as far as we got.
Yeah. Well, it turns out that the Aries moon is the variety that's most healing and powerful, regenerative. That's why it's called self-regeneration. And it's the one we sell the most of because it just rejoins people with the reason why they've come here to have a human body in the first place. It has this most extraordinary healing capacity. Whereas the one I sent you the video of is the one that's made the next month, and it's made on a very female moon, which is Taurus, and it's the one that attracts resources and supply and happiness and rewards and plenty, and it's called Mother of Abundance. Even though they're made from exactly the same kind of ocean water, it's vibrationally hugely different. See, this brings into the whole conversation the work that Dr. Masaru Emoto did, where he showed that water has memory. And when I realized the full impact of what he was doing, there was no way I could just make a stock standard potion elixir anymore. I had to hugely focus on the energies of the time that it's being made. And so I do a chart just before I did one of the ceremonies, and then I I would analyze a chart and I would speak into the vibration, the vibrational, the essence of the energies that were present into the elixir that was being made. And so it carried all that richness, and specifically what I program into it is the results that people are going to get as a direct result of having that particular elixir in their life. Because the elixirs that I make, there's now 13 different varieties, 12 full moons and 1 new moon, and they have very specific result profiles and that people
Hey, Dennis,
get.
just a moment,
Yeah.
Dennis. Can you just get your finger and just bring out your microphone, because it's running against your shirt and you can hear.
Oh, okay.
Russell.
You don't have to take it up there. Just keep it off the shirt, because it's you can hear it coming through the radio static.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Get away. I'll just put that on.
Okay.
Put that over there. And so I guess the things that I particularly wanted to add value to the international community with tonight are the tools of conscious expansion that are easily the most powerful that I've ever encountered this lifetime. And I say encountered because in some ways I was given these by other dimensional beings that I can't say it was all me that developed this stuff, but when you were at that presentation that I did, Jeff, for that spiritualist church, as you know, it's extremely experiential. So I'd like to take people through some of these experiential processes tonight, or today, if you're in there in the daytime. In other words, what I'm getting at is that peace, happiness, and a high vibration are actually experiential things. They are not subjects of what we believe. They're not in the mental realm at all. In fact, if someone says they believe something, I usually take that as that they don't actually know it. Because if you have to substitute being there, remember that famous movie Being There? Well, if you have to substitute being there for a belief about the possibility of maybe being there at some time, it's a very poor substitute. And so I have this philosophy for many, many years that people who look for happiness get it. People who look for peace get it. People who chase after goals with sufficient determination usually end up getting them. And a lot of it has to do, especially in the spiritual and metaphysical realm, how much energy that we bring to the equation, how much vibrational elevation that we bring to the equation. And around about 20 years ago, I ran across this extraordinary, you must get this book, it's called Power versus Force. And Andrina, I sent you an image of the front cover of that. And when you can, maybe you just put it up so people can see it. And there's two different, yeah, thank you, there it is. There's two different varieties of power versus force. There's the blue cover, which is the shorter version, and there's the black and white one you're seeing right now, which is the extended version, which is only an extra few bucks, but it has much more valuable information in it that the blue one doesn't. And it turns out that what never occurred to me in the 50 years or so of meditating, because I was initiated into meditation in 1973, in the 15th of July 1973, in this little bungalow in Adelaide with a
Denis, can I stop you a minute?
bald-headed saffron robe. Sure.
Denis, yeah.
Yeah, your microphone is
Yeah.
so crackly when you're talking.
It's either goes to the plug into the phone, but it's
Can you talk without using that? Can you unplug it and see if we can hear
I can.
no, because they weren't.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes that it's better without, isn't it? It was a bit muffly, isn't it?
Now he sounds like he's in a fishbowl now.
No.
You'll have to go back to using that microphone. The plug, there must be a plug-in in the microphone because the statics is just coming through, and it's just I can come through my headphones, and I feel like just taking off the headphones.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm getting the gist of what he's got. It's,
Yeah, but it's hard work.
Yeah, it's golden nuggets of information coming through. It's just. Pardon me?
I don't know what he said there. Go on.
Right.
Oh dear.
Right. Anyway, Andrea, so yeah, so I remember Ken Syme having Ormus and
Yeah.
bringing it through, and then of course Ormus was talking about being in the Egyptian times. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's not a product. Well, I suppose if you're looking for it, it's on the shelves, but it's not something that comes to your mind, or I must get some more Ormus, is it?
How working?
Right, we can
Is
hear
that
you
any
now.
better?
Yeah, definitely much better.
Great. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure it doesn't rub up against my shirt again to annoy you.
And the plug. Well, you're going to listen to the show and you're going to say, "Why didn't we stop you?"
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you did finally. So,
Go on.
where easily one of the most pivotal things that has happened in this lifetime, going back to being initiated into different techniques of meditation and in 1973, and ever since then, I mean, I lived like a monk for about 10 years, literally an ashramic kind of celibate lifestyle, living, meditating at least a couple of hours a day. And there was a focus of trying to squeeze in as much spiritual evolution as possible. And I suppose over time, it has matured to the point where around about 20 years, well, then I came to Australia. This was in New Zealand, and I came to Australia in the 1980s, and I went down the track of business, and I was importing health supplements from Japan and the US and Europe, and so I had a major commercial adventure there for a while, like 20 years, and around about overlapping that around about 20 years ago was I mentioned I was studying with a metaphysician, Alchemist in Sydney, and I made some elixirs that I thought might be valuable for people, but they didn't seem to be powerful enough that they affected people. So I thought maybe that's not my evolution. Well, around about 10 years after that, which is about 20 years ago, I was inducted into a different methodology that in the Ormus alchemy movement is just called the wet method. And literally, it takes ocean water and finds a way to alchemically treat the minerals in the ocean water to make them so much more vibrationally and alchemically active. And after I realized that Dr. Masaru Emoto showed how water has memory, it became very apparent that I needed to program every single variety that I did with the frequencies that were present when I made it. And so consequently, I have extended that by making soundtracks for the different varieties that I make. And I have graphics and sacred geometry all around the place where I made it. And I have soundtracks of that sings the names of the saints and sages and mystics and the divine mothers and the extended masters, and I invite them in. And it turns out, whenever I talk about us making Ormus, I'm the only human here, but I'm surrounded by hundreds of other high dimensional beings who show up. And around about, on average, because I can.
Hey, we should pull the pin on this, and I know we got next week off. I should do them next week.
Mm. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's not going to be a good one to promote this one, is it? Stop, start. No. Which is a shame because he's getting to the nitty gritty of it all.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. He didn't realise we can't hear him.
No. No.
Right.
Okay, I think we might.
See if you can do next week. Can you do the interview?
Yeah. Pull the pin on him.
Yeah. What a shame.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's what we'll do, eh? We're supposed to come on at 6:30, but.
Yeah, you did. Well, that's it. We asked people to come on half an hour before to check the recording, the sound and everything. And Dennis didn't come on till about 9:45 trying to get on, which it's cocked it up. Because we said, 10 to. So obviously we couldn't check it all out. So, well, we're very sorry about this, folks. We won't be sharing this one, but Jeff, I'm on holiday next week. I'm off to Centre Parks with my family in Longleat, which I'm really looking forward to. So I should be out biking and all sorts of things. So I'll see if Jeffrey can rearrange to get Dennis back on the show if he's available next Thursday, eh?
Yeah, mate.
So sorry about that, folks. I suppose after we've had such a good run that you'll every now and again we get an odd one with a few gremlins in. And for whatever reason, today was the day.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Thank you for listening, everybody. And same time, same place next week.
Okay.